right, hello and welcome. Hey everyone, how you doing? I hope this thing is I hope this is working. Like, yeah, okay, you never know with me. Like, so often I try to do these things so often. I don't do these anymore. I used to do these things so often and I'd always have audio problem, but it seems like my audio is actually working for once. Strange, I know. But hey Jeff, hey Cinnabon, how you guys doing today? You see his lips moving? I know you can hear me because I muted myself for just a second over on YouTube and it actually worked. So I know it's working for once, guys. No, so I mean, it's been forever. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm kind of curious, like if anyone's joined because I did like home assistant stuff, they're probably like, what the heck is this nonsense? But everyone else, hey, it's been a hot minute. So I saw this game the other day and it seems like straight up my alley. This is called Dredge. And from what I can tell, there's a centimeter, there's Cthulhu type stuff. And I really wanted to see what it looks like here. So I thought, hey, why not play for a minute? And then I almost didn't get to because like some random ants showed up downstairs. So that was weird. And I'm like, oh, every time I try to stream, something goes wrong. But thankfully, Amy's like, Matt, just go stream, have some fun. So thank you for that. Boo what, Cinnabon? Boo what? We're gonna get this game going here. Give it a shot. I have to push and hold. Okay. So this is the first time I've even bothered pulling it up. Hey Thomas Potts, how you doing? This is a game called Dredge. And yes, we want tutorials. Units, we'll use foot-pounds, thank you. Clock style 24, that is great. Sure, why not? I don't care about any of this stuff, it doesn't look like. Yeah, this is... Oh, that's a lot of options. This is fine. Who is this? I don't know, some weirdo. Some new YouTuber. I don't know what he's doing here. Okay. That's right, it's a fishing game. There's Cthulhu stuff in it, I swear, like I saw a preview. And I guess Bird is driving the ship. We crashed. Is anyone here actually excited for Strange New Worlds tonight? Like, I didn't even know it was starting tonight until someone mentioned it over in Discord. The morning light fills your eyes and you try to sit upright. You're lying on the cold, wet dock where you collapsed the night before. Oh good, I was able to swim. A short man is shouting orders at a handful of workers disembarking from a boat nearby. The man notices you. No game sound? Well, it would hardly be one of my streams if there was game sound, man. If there's perfect audio. I bet if I do that... How's that? Got a little more sound now? Welcome to Greater Marrow. I must say, quite the dramatic first impression. I see you've already introduced yourself to the jagged rocks along the bay. Hilarious. And let me know if the audio is kind of balanced, because it might be... I mean, it's kind of peaceful music. And it looks like my sound meter when I talk is higher, so we should be okay. This story's already better than Strange New... I forget what the CH stands for, but Strange New World. Yeah, I don't know. I checked out middle of last season. I said, this is just more hot garbage. I don't care. Did you not see the lighthouse? It was shining right at you. Ah, well, I'm glad to see our new fisherman upright and breathing. Continuity headaches. Yeah, Strange New Continuity Headaches World. Your boat was hopelessly damaged. Bird was definitely driving. But I've had a few of the locals move your things to one of our old vessels. We'll catch up later to discuss more details. I'll let you get out of there to catch some fish. See if you can fill your cargo while you get your bearings in the light. Like, what if I don't want to? Like, what if I want to make a phone call? Just get off the island? Finally, I don't suppose I need to say this, but get back by sundown before the fog rolls in. Keep a close eye on the time. It can really creep up on you. Okay. So, let's see. So my boat speed is 24 knots. I'm at 85% fishing speed, no lights. Looks like I can catch coastal fish. Cool, cool, cool. Did I actually think continuity headaches was part of it? No, Thomas, I know it's not. Okay. Just catch a fish for the day. All right. Who is Matthew? I don't know. I've never heard of the guy. Peculiar engine. Someone's tuned this engine in an unfamiliar way. Whatever they did seems to have given it more power than normal. Neat. And a basic fishing pole is splintered and fragile. The rod is only capable of catching the smallest of fish. Awesome. Hey, John DeMarco, how you doing? Yeah, this must be taking place in the same universe that Strange New Worlds takes place, because it's definitely not the prime timeline. Okay, I move around with WASD, turn, and mouse controls camera. Seems fairly straightforward. Yeah, that works. Look for a fishing spot. Splashes on the surface. All right. And then F to start fishing. Press F at the right time to reel in faster. Okay, so I can speed things up when it's in the green. Oh, okay, and then I place it. Okay, so this is going to be kind of some inventory management. Neat. And as I fish, the time moves. Awesome. But yeah, when they introduced the fact that Spock's dad was a lecher and a cheater, and Spock would just punch someone for the smallest of provocation, like I fished everything. Whoops. Like I don't care that this is a younger Spock. That makes no sense whatsoever. That Spock would be so easily provoked. Oh, I see. I don't have the right... Okay, well, where can I fish? Yeah, I can get these. Nice. Oh, okay, and I can rotate things. That makes more sense. So, like that. Wow, overfishing the ocean. Yeah. Yeah, I'm clearly not a very environmental person. And I wonder if they come back. Time only advances when you're moving, fishing, or taking other specific actions. Oh, interesting. So if I can hold still, and the timer stops. Nice, so I can actually read chat. We should call the government and report a Matthew sighting. Wait, I mean, can you even know if it really is me? Hey, Daniel's Hot Topic, how you doing? Like, I might just be one of those AI things. If I start getting names right, you know it's not me, right? Fish are the mark of the beast? I'm not sure about that one. Actually, I am pretty sure about that one. That's not accurate. Oh, I missed. So I wonder what happens at nighttime, since she was all concerned about me being back before the fog rolls in. Shoot, I've run out of space. I guess I gotta ditch this one. Sorry. Hold that to discard, and done. Okay, select your lights by holding E, which I can't do. Oh, I guess I got like a cabin light. That's neat. Let's see, watching Heavenson. What's that about, Professor? Oh, look, it came back. The fish came back. I'm gonna stay out. I want to see what happens if I stay out too late. Like, does it really make that much of a difference? Of course, if I die, then I have to fish again. I guess I'll go back. Exposure to fog and other things increase your panic. Bright lights and sleeping will reduce it. Oh. Matthew, guess what? I know. What, Daniel? And dock by holding F. Neat. You step onto the dock at Greater Marrow. The mayor is waiting nearby. Ah, I see you've returned in one piece. Very good. Before you head off to town, we should discuss the matter of your boat. As I mentioned earlier, your old boat was too badly damaged to be repaired. However, I'm more than happy to sell you that replacement vessel, yours to own. Yeah, what's the catch? I understand you may not have the necessary funds on hand, so we'll consider it a loan. But I want to make this easy for you. Until your debt is repaid, a tiny portion of your fisher sales will go towards paying it off. A small amount of interest will go towards improving the town. Alright. Sounds like I'm being, like, forced into slavery, kinda? So to recap, you'll need to sell fish to local market, paying off your debt, and in turn, keeping the population fed and satisfied, understand? What, I'm the only one keeping these people alive? That was bad, planning. Selling fish helps the town and pays off my debt. Got it. Where do I sell these fish? Our local fishmonger will appraise and purchase what you catch. He's open all hours. That's a rough job. Off you go then. Sell those fish while they're still fresh. You enter a squalid shack on the fringe of the marketplace. The familiar smell of fish fills the air. Flies buzz haphazardly around a downcast man behind the counter. You're the new fishman, eh? Surprised they found a new one so fast. Yeah, what happened to the other one exactly? It takes a certain type of person to last out here. It's not a life for everyone. Anyway, to business. I'll pay you for fish. Bigger and fresher means more money. Some specimens are just worth more too. Other towns on other islands might pay you different, but while you're still got a debt outstanding here, I suggest you'd work on paying it first. I wonder what happens if I don't. So let's see what you got. I got this. How do I sell it to him? Okay. Oh, okay, I just have to click it? What happened? How'd I sell it all? What happened? Well, I guess I wanted to sell them all. So let's see what you got. I'm done. Return. Daniel's saying that Hugh Jackman is coming back as Wolverine in Deadpool 3 after he said he would never come back in 2017 after Logan. I thought we already knew that, Daniel. Like, I thought those rumors had been out for a while. Which, I mean, take it with a grain of salt. These things are always rumors until it actually gets confirmed. It says, the mayor is standing outside the fishmonger's store. Excellent work. I have no doubt you'll be able to provide for this town. I still can't believe they want me to provide for the entire town. Like, that's phenomenally bad decisions. Look here, I found this down by the docks. I'm sure someone like you could make something out of it. Why don't you take it? Okay, research part. A curious looking component could be used to develop new equipment, but would need some investigation at a dock first. Okay. I guess I'll put that there. Oh, one last thing. Our local shipwright mentioned that she might be able to make some modifications to your ship. You should pay her a visit. Alright, I will. Okay, so I can research rods. And... ooh, this one lets me do coastal, shallow, mangrove, and volcanic. Ooh, okay. See, this is what I was talking about. There's some Cthulhu elements here. We can do abyssal and hadal. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. Got some different engine types. That looks interesting. Pots, can't see that at all yet. Nothing on nets. Okay, so let's see. What do I need here? Shallow, coastal. So I can do coastal and shallow right now. And I want... like, why wouldn't I go for this? I don't know. I guess I'll try this. Well, no, I want a faster engine. I like the way that one looks. We'll do this. Can I use it? I have to use it on one of these, I guess? Oh, let's do nothing yet. I don't like the fact it's not letting me do anything here. Okay, shipwright. As you walk into the yard, you see the shipwright making repairs to a damaged hull. She looks up at you briefly before turning back to her work. Rude. You must be the new fisherman. I can make improvements to your vessel in the yard. Mind you, I'm not in the business of doing favors around here. Payment is upfront, and everything takes some time to install. Also, if you take on any damage from rocks, or any damage at all, I can patch it up, mostly. She shrugs and gestures toward the hole she's currently attempting to repair. A number of wooden boards, all well above the waterline, are splintered and scratched. What happened to it? Take a look around. Just remember, the bigger the equipment, the longer it takes to install, so plan ahead. If I can get a weighted line. What do I got right now? A basic fishing pole. And this is a simple skimmer. So strengthened lines can catch larger and deeper fish. I don't have enough money for this stuff yet. No point in getting it. I could get a second engine, but is there any point to it? Some headlights? That might actually be worthwhile, but I can't afford it. Okay, so there's nothing I can do. Let's take a rest. Dana's saying, I wonder what Kevin Feige and Ryan Reynolds said to Hugh Jackman to get him back when the whole world tried to get him back as Logan failed. Confirmed Hugh Jackman will be back. Even posted pics on his Twitter. Really? I don't know. Until I see it in the movie, I don't buy it, you know? There's too many. Marvel itself has done too many. Oh look, here's this thing that's gonna happen, and it turned out it was just like a CGI preview. Like in one of the Thor movies, you saw him on Bifrost and he had two eyes, but when the moment actually came, he had lost one of them. They showed, I want to say in one of the in-game movies, they showed like Hulk doing something, but by that point he was Professor Hulk. So I mean, take things with a grain of salt. Thomas Boss, they said how much money they would pay him. Yeah, exactly. And that's what Cinnabon is saying too. John DeMarco, 98th rule of acquisition. Every man has his price. Exactly. So I gotta do 30 bucks in ship loan repayments. Lovely. Can I do anything with this now? I hate just blindly clicking on stuff. Like, oh, I have to research this first, don't I? I see how it works. So I have to. Okay, so we're gonna research this engine. And now I find out everything else. So the jet drive gives me 9 knots. The twin prop gives me 35. Well, why wouldn't I? But it also takes a lot more. Okay. Okay, this makes more sense. So I have to research this stuff to unlock the further ones. I thought the pictures were ones like I'd already unlocked. I should rob people. Yeah, I wonder if that's a mechanic they'll let me do. Okay, so apparently I'm gonna have to do some grinding to actually like get into the game proper, I guess. So how long has it been since I've been online, guys? I don't have the right equipment for this. I want to say it's been over a year solid since the last time I actually got a stream. It has been an insane year or more. So what we got here. Added to cabin. So cabin messages. Morning of the second day. Okay, 1927, August 20th. Morning of the second day of the honeymoon, and our first day proper. Oh, how neat. Today, we're sailing around the islands and inlets at the back of Greater Marrow. I love the rocks here. The layers and colors are so striking. Furthermore, the fishing is relatively poor in these shallows. So I know he will keep his hands on the wheel instead of the rods. Okay, so this is the wife talking. He renamed the boat last night, Julie, betting that's the wife's name. He did a fancy renaming ceremony and everything. I think he took that more seriously than the wedding. Supposedly, it's very important to perform it correctly, lest you want ill fortune to follow the vessel. Very true. He wanted to throw away everything with the old name on it, but I kept the keychain. Ocean's Riches was a good name. I think he has prepared a surprise picnic lunch. I can see the basket half hidden, stuffed under a blanket at the front of the cabin. I love it when he tries to be romantic. Aww. I'm sure absolutely nothing bad happens to these people ever. Is this Dredge? I don't have the right equipment to dredge. It's a game called Dredge, and I can't dredge. Nice. Daniel is saying the professor was helping the Flash won the comms as berries is spoilers? What? I'm afraid I didn't get that reference there. Okay, so I gotta store this stuff right. Does it cost me time when I am storing the fish? No. No, it doesn't. That's good. Are you gonna move, Daniel? That'd be good. I know that you haven't had the best experiences where you are. Would love to see you in a new place. So one of the many things is, I think it's been over a year. I remember that one of the things that was going on when I'm like, oh, I should do a stream sometime soon, was my niece was about to get married, and I think that was well over a year ago. Like I'm pretty sure they've celebrated their first wedding anniversary since then. But it was, man, it was a busy time. So we go up and we do the wedding with the niece, and then like no sooner do we get back than we have to go to a, let's see, I think it was Amy's dad's birthday. Like he was celebrating a big number. So we go out to a vacation there out in Branson, and then no sooner do we get back from the Branson trip than we're going out to Galveston because her mom was celebrating her birthday too. And so like it was a time where, man, we were bouncing all over the place. And then right after that, work got insane. Absolutely insane. Okay, so the fish right. I had a special order come through from a customer. If you can fulfill it, I can pay you above the norm prices. Oh, neat. Tell me about the order. They asked for 1 Gulf flounder and 1 gray eel. Just bring them when you have them. Okay. You'll need to have a rod that can handle shallow water fish in order to catch these. I think that's what I have. What I got so far? Cod and blue mackerel. So neither one of these is what he needs. So I click and sell. But I did it all in one go. Oh, okay. There we go. Sell all fish. There we go. Have you seen that strange red light at night? It seemed to be rising from the west. I have not. Okay, so I need to sell another $9. How much money do I have now? So I have a coastal. Okay, so I also need a shallow one. I see. I guess, how long would it take for me to... Oh, I don't think I have the space for this one. Like, see how it's this weird L shape? Like a tetramino piece? And I only have a 3 straight line one. I bet that's how it goes. And then this one, I guess this one could work. Oh no, I see. I have a space over here. Oh, that means less fish. Hence the need for research. Nice, okay. Okay, let's get this. And then still no nets. And I could get a... No, I could get nothing. I have no more money. Alright. Sleeping till dawn. Daniel's saying I made some, well, not mistakes, but I was in the wrong place at the wrong time and I paid the price for it. It's terrible. Someone lied to someone else about me and I paid for it over lie. I've been there. Yeah, I've absolutely been there. A hunchwoman approaches you from the steps to the lighthouse. She stops some distance away and looks at you with the concern and visible apprehension. Why are you here? I've come to fish. I've come to see the area. I've come to meet people. None of these are true. I'm here because I was shipwrecked and now I've been kind of like forced into indentured servitude. So, technically came to fish, I guess. We'll go with that one. There's nothing like here for someone like you anymore. Do yourself a favor and move on. I'd love to, lady. I'd love to. She turns and shuffles back along the path that leads to the light. Can I talk to you about it, Matthew? Maybe you have an email. Honestly, I don't do email stuff like that. Sorry, Daniel. Mayor wants to talk, but I'm on Discord. I don't really respond to private messages on Discord, but if you ever like, I try to respond to stuff on public stuff on the public channels. Just the person I was hoping to see. Will you be sailing out east toward Little Morrow? Morrow? How do you pronounce that? Marrow or Morrow? Would you get this package to the dock worker there, please? Yeah, sure. So I just put that there, and then I head east. The mayor hands you a small, damp package found in string. It's dripping slightly. Gross. The dock worker will pay you upon delivery. Please be quick about it. I don't want to spoil. Okay. Hey, Orville Nation, how you doing? Don't forget to check your compass and map, maybe if you get lost. So this is a game called Dredge. And as for when it takes place, I honestly don't know. Let's see, I'm heading... Okay, I think it's just across the bay. So let's go deliver this right now. Since my ship's top speed is like nothing. So Orville, what have you been up to? Like, do you think we'll ever get a season 4 of Orville? I introduced my wife to it during the past year, but I haven't been doing any streaming stuff, and she adores it. Like, she thought it was a great series, and she doesn't even like sci-fi stuff. Like, I tried to show her a couple sci-fi series in the past, and she cannot stand sci-fi, but she loved Orville. What a delivery? Let's see here. He tears a small hole in the paper and peeks inside. You can't say for sure, but it feels as though he's shielding it from your view. Yep, nice and fresh. This will do nicely. I'm to pay you, I suppose. Nice. If I get some money... I was given this old book a few weeks back, but it didn't make much sense to me. You'll surely get more use out of it. Oh. He pulls a crumpled book from his back pocket and hands it to you. A number of the pages are folded over. Keep it in your cabin. Perhaps you can read it while you're on the water. Stop by for a chat anytime. I know how lonely it can be. Okay, so I go to my cabin. And my bookshelf... What is this? Sustainable fishing. Yeah, I need this because I keep depleting the ocean. So how do I guess it just automatically goes selected as active book, past time to read. Okay. Let's see, so we have a trader here. You enter a brightly lit shop. It's packed with antiques. The shelves full of jewelry and other baubles. An old man peers at you over silver spectacles. I'm sure he got him from his friend on his birthday. Hello, is that? No. I don't believe we've met. Forgive me, my eyes aren't what they used to be. I specialize in antiques and jewelry. I'll purchase any special trinkets you happen to have. Neat. Have you got anything nice on you today, perhaps? Nope, I don't. Sorry. I guess that's the end of the conversation. We're done there. Yeah, exactly, John. They'd be worth more if the lenses were intact. And that's why the eyesight's so bad. He doesn't have lenses anymore. I guess it's just a storage locker. I'm sure that will come up later. All right. Well, neat. Let's see what we can find here. Disturbed lot. Do they all say disturbed, or is this like a special title? Okay, I'm not great at these mini games apparently. That thing is huge. Oh man, I am really not doing good at this mini game. I do like Wesley Snipes as Blade. He may be back. I still can't Dredge. He may be back in Secret Wars. There's a 96% chance he will be in it. Snipes has wanted to come back for years as Blade. Where do you get this 97.6% chance from, man? Like, who was it? Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage has been dying to play Superman, but there's a 0% chance that he's ever going to do it, just because, like, even though he's dying to do it. Because Nicolas Cage, he'd be a horrible Superman. He lacks the presence, the physique. Okay, I do not have space for another Stingray. Question mark? What is it? A floating buoy. It serves to mark safe passage past dangerous rocks and... Okay, yeah, obviously. The dim light also provides a brief respite in the gloom of the night. Neat. And this is... those fish again. Wow, that didn't take my long. Oh, by the way, Matthew, this new James Gunn DCU will bomb, and the new Superman will crash and burn and fail. Are you sure about that, though? Like, let's be honest, the old DCU wasn't exactly the pinnacle of amazingness, you know? In fact, the old DCU had serious, major issues, like continuity-wise, story-wise, or not continuity, excuse me, the continuity was fine. I meant story pacing-wise. It was horrible. Just horrible. The mayor is walking quickly towards you. He seems to be in a good mood with a spring in his step. Now, some of the DCU stuff was very decent. Like, the Aquaman movie was surprisingly good. But so much of it, starting with how they introduced the characters, like the Man of Steel. I get that he wanted to do more of a down-to-earth human character for Superman. But they missed so many, like, narrative pacing points that the movie it didn't land it. And you gotta land it with your basic Superman and Batman. If you're not landing it with the big two for DCU, like, you don't have a universe to really build on. And they really botched it with Superman and Batman. Not to mention Superman v Batman. The mayor's walking quickly toward you. I already read that. Fantastic news. Thanks partly to your efforts, Greater Morrow is growing. Our town is sure to be swarming with visitors any day now. I'm gonna doubt that one. In fact, I've granted a constant consent. Words are hard. I've granted consent for the shipwright to expand her facilities. The old dry dock is operational again. I've also allocated some money to improve the fishmonger's services. He might have something to talk to you about soon. Keep up the good work. We're glad you've chosen to be here with us. Chosen is a strong word. I've been shanghaied. I've been dragooned into work. This is a dry dock. We can make significant improvements to your vessel here. We're talking extra space, more attachment points for equipment, and even superior holds. We'll need a decent stock of hard materials for these projects. Lumber, metal, scraps, that sort of things. Okay, how do I get them? Yeah, there's plenty of decent material around the coast from various shipwrecks and the like. I'm sure they'll find a way to get them. So we're not going to actually, like, force these things from the trees behind her. We're just going to find other broken ships. Like, I don't think I want to be expanding my ship with, like, the debris from other ships. Materials assigned toward upgrades will be stored, so don't worry about it if you only have half of what we need. Okay. So I can get rod spaces by collecting wood, screws, and paper? Okay, so that's another thing to keep an eye on. Fine. Daniel's saying the DCU was fine. It was not that bad. I love Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Okay, so she did a decent enough showing in the first movie. But the 1984 movie, it wasn't that great, to be honest. And like, that's how I would describe so much of the DCU. It was fine, but it lacked the narrative hits they need to make. So take Man of Steel, for instance. You want to do a more down-to-earth Superman. Fine. That is fantastic. Oh, that's interesting. But, man, that is difficult. Sorry, I'll continue this thought after the fishing game. After I've depleted this area. Okay, I am gonna sail out into the fog a little bit. I'm really curious what happens as I get, like, crazier or more panicky. I have to be moving for my insanity meter to go up. Oh, he said something about a red light, right? A red light to the... was it west? Oh, yeah. I see that giant red column of light over there. Can I find maybe a nighttime fishing spot? Yeah, here we go. Oh. Ah. Ooh, my eye was green and now it's brown. What? Okay, there was not a rock there before, right? That's new. So, as I get crazier, like, rocks appear? Okay. Oh! Oh! I thought I was safe once I got into the harbor. I lost something. Shoot. Oh my, you look exhausted. You're not forgetting to get some sleep, are you? Maybe. As I always say, taking frequent breaks is an important part of being productive. Okay, so let's sell this off. Yes, I guess I do have some fish for the order. I have this one? And a Gulf flounder, okay. Sell all this. I lost that. Get it repaired at the shipyard. Okay. It's dry dock, right? How do I... Oh. Okay, there we go. So let's repair everything for 30 bucks, sure. And then I still can't get a fishing net. And I guess I'll get a light. Very nice. And sleep. Okay, so Man of Steel. They wanted to show him as being vulnerable and scared, and I guess what life would have been like if his dad had died at a young age, which, again, all fine. One of the things that really got me in that movie was that people who live in Kansas City didn't know not to hide under a bridge, because that would, you know, it was about the absolute worst place you can hide in a tornado, if you didn't know that. Like, get in a ditch if there's a tornado near you. Do not get under a bridge. That actually makes it a lot worse. But these people who should have known this had no idea about it. So, fine, whatever. The writers don't know anything about real life. I can't super hold that against them, but I do. I absolutely do. Oh, I absolutely do. But what's this over here? Oh, okay, I got something else. 10% chance to not reduce fish stocks when catching a fish with a rod. Okay, so there's more fish for each one. So beyond that, there's this moment in Man of Steel where he exposes the fact that he has superpowers, that he's stronger than the average bear. And he saves everyone aboard the school bus. And everyone, like, the parents start coming, and they are extremely concerned, and the dad, like, has to, the dad reprimands Clark for using his powers to save everyone. There should have been a moment later on, and there was a perfect moment for it. All that's left is this boat is an old hux. You pull a little closer. Let's look inside. Oh, rats. I need this stuff. We'll get as much as we can. Maybe I can... Oh, I can return to these items later. Very good. Let's head back. And there's a moment when he's fighting Zod later on. And there should have been a payoff for the setup of the kids knowing him. Like, at that moment, everyone in Smallville should have recognized that Clark Kent, the guy they grew up with, the guy that saved them from drowning on the bus, had just saved them from death. But no one says anything. There's no payoff for it. It was absolutely insane. The lighthouse towers above, water's crashing endlessly against the perilous rock below. All creatures, humans or otherwise, would have their brittle bodies broken and thrown at its feet. You ponder the intrinsic power of this structure, a vast column of stone shouldering the responsibility of countless lives. How long will it stand? How long until it decays into ruin, its purpose exhausted? The lighthouse towers above. Wow, that was poignant. Oh, and the payoff would have been that while everyone was scared of him as a child, when he comes into Smallville and he and Zod are fighting, and the military shows up and they're shooting both of them, because in their mind it's like, hey, this is just another bad guy. They should have had the people he saved stepped up, and that would have been a defining moment from him. And they should have also, like, the way they did it is he gets the symbol in the suit just randomly from his dad, like, here you go. And they should have had that be a much more important story point. The fishmonger wraps up the fish and hands you some money. Good, good. They should be pleased with these. I've got another order here. This one's a little more curious. They want a couple of squid and a whole black grouper. Don't see many people fishing squid these days. They only feed at night. And well, you know what nights are like around here. Good luck. I found this book out back. Could be useful to you. Hands me a damp, battered book. A few shimmering fish scales are stuck to the cover. Okay. And then I sell everything else. Very good. And then I can go to Dry Dock. And I guess I need some net spaces, right? Oh, I couldn't get anything. Fine. My storage. We'll put the chains in for later. And then research tree. Got the shipwright? No. Research. Okay, so I want this flexible fishing pole so that I don't have to be spending 2 slots just to get rats. I should have researched that first. Hey, Josh Street, how you doing? Who was this weird guy again? I can't remember his name, but I do remember he can't remember a name to save his life. That is correct. Daniel is Hot Topic saying, in science class I learned the best place to be in a thunderstorm is in a car because the lightning can't reach you. So the same should be during a tornado. The safest place would be in a car. Actually, not true, Daniel. So I live, everyone knows this, I live in Texas. I live in an area that is the second worst place in the world for tornadoes. We get the exact same number of tornadoes as Oklahoma, which is the number 1 worst place. I forget. I think it might be Oklahoma City that's the worst place. I forget. The point is we're tied with the number of tornadoes for the exact same worstness, but theirs are slightly stronger. So that's why they're number 1 and we're number 2. So same number of tornadoes, but theirs are slightly stronger. So take this from the horse's mouth. If you're in a tornado, you're out and about. First of all, obviously, like if the tornado is nowhere near you, don't head for the tornado. But you're driving along, all of a sudden, bam, tornado plops down right in front of you. One of my life goals is for that to happen. It'd be so amazing. But what you want to do is get into a ditch. You want to get down low. So if you've got to get out of your car to get down into a ditch, that is what you want to do. Beyond that, don't try to outrace a tornado. The tornado is going to win every time. And being in a car, I mean, a tornado can pick up a car and just spin it off flying. That's not going to stop it. Like if it's a little dirt devil, then that's not going to hurt anything. But if it's a true tornado, you need to get somewhere down low, and you want to stay out from underneath bridges, because that actually, as the wind passes through that narrow space, it actually, by coming into that narrow space, it focuses. It's like taking your water hose and putting your thumb over the end. You turn that the water coming out the end, and you focus it, and it turns into a harsh stream. And that's the same thing going with the tornado and the wind underneath a bridge. It actually focuses it, makes it much worse. Don't do it. Get down into a ditch. Best thing is just not be near it at all. Undock is this. Cinnabon Bunny is saying the safest place in a thunderstorm is a golf course, golf course, or a lake. False. So if you're ever in a thunderstorm, or an old clock tower, that's right, John, but only if you're trying to get to the future. So if you're actually in a thunderstorm and you're caught out in the open, you want to stay far away from trees. Like, you wouldn't think so. Items, what happened? Why? What? That was weird. Like, I caught it, but then I didn't? Okay. You don't want to go near a tree, because trees are likely to be hit by lightning. And if you're near the tree, and the tree gets hit by lightning, that electricity will actually go outward from the tree. And you are very, very likely to be electrocuted. I mean, they actually have this issue over in Australia as well. So, in Australia, the way they do their power lines is, instead of, like in America, we have the power goes out and it goes to a transformer. So, we have our 408 volts coming to our residential areas, and it goes to a transformer, which has lots of different ways of doing it, and it steps it down to 210 volts. Like, a lot of people don't realize this, but your house is actually a 220 volt power source. It's just inside the house, we split off those two phases, so one phase is 120 and the other phase is 120. So at your outlet, you only get 120 unless you go across both phases, and then you get 220, which is what your dryer uses. But in Australia, and so we have a power line going out doing the 480, and then we have a return power line for our alternating current. In Australia, I guess their distances they have to go are just so great that they only send out the power, and then they have a termination line down by the end of the power line. And so instead of the electricity going back to the power plant, it goes to that local ground. And what happens is, whenever it rains, you'll have an area around that telephone pole or power line that actually can get imbalanced, and it can create a electrical pond, so to speak. Like, not from the water sitting there, just from the ground being saturated with water. And it actually can create, for like several yards away from that electrical line, a place where you can get electrocuted just by walking by. It's crazy. Hey Deej, how you doing? That's right, Thomas. Everything in Australia kills you. There's a song about that. It's hilarious. It sings about come to Australia, you might not accidentally get killed. And then it goes through like all the different things that can kill you, like the blue ring jellyfish. Let's see, so I can sell this, but I mean, it's not much. We'll still sell it. Thomas is saying The Current War was a good movie. I don't think I've seen that one. Hey, Hey, Donnie Pearson, how you doing? Live with Matthew, hello, Matt and all, and happy National Flag of the United States for America Day. I did not know that was a thing. Hope everyone is doing well. So glad you're back at last. Oh, thank you. Yeah, at least I am for the moment. Just having to have some free time this evening. Wanted to play this Dredge game. Hopefully I can start like building up enough stuff. Like, I played a few games like this before, and they all have a very similar development where like there's just this big build-up time where things are going really slow, and then like you hit this crescendo point and all of a sudden there's all this stuff going on. But I do know about this game, in theory you're supposed to have like, there's supposed to be some Cthulhu stuff going on, and we've already started to see some weird stuff where like a rock that isn't there ever, if you start to get too paranoid, all of a sudden this rock appears out of nowhere and it can actually damage you for some reason. Yes, I've got the fish for the order. So I've got a couple of squid. And I need a black grouper, but I don't know where that is. Hey LDG, how you doing? I've been pretty good, been pretty busy. Tom was saying it's about Edison versus Westinghouse over which current to use. Benedict Cumberbatch plays Edison. Oh, the movie that you're talking about. That's pretty cool. Like, they both had fair points, you know, but it does make a lot of sense why we do alternating current. Like, it is so much easier to do high voltage across long distances using alternating current. And like, if you did DC current, you'd have to have insanely thicker wires than what we already have, which is why we use 120 volts here in the States. I wish actually we did use 220 like at the wall and had better electrical outlets like they do over in the UK, but we don't, and they're not about to change things now for us, you know. But I mean, it'd be really great if, you know, all our stuff in our homes, they tend to run at 24 volts. Like, once you actually get to the motors and stuff, or like, not motors, excuse me, like your monitors for computers, inside your computer power supply, TVs, everything takes the 120 volts and they step it down to like a 24, 12, 5, and 3 volts. And if we could have a very high efficient power supply in the house, like, we'd save so much electricity. Like, you lose a lot of power due to the conversion of all these different electrical equipment. But unfortunately, if you drop things down to 24 volts, you'd have to have like like 4-gauge wire going through your house to deliver the current to the furthest location just to power stuff. And I mean, instead we can use like 14-gauge, and usually that's fine for everything. Now for 220 volts, like your electrical ranges for stoves and stuff, you do have to have slightly thicker wires, but I mean, that's a couple things. Okay, so I need to find these black groupies, black gropers. DJ saying I'm killing time till Strange New World drops so I can watch it and then do a live stream. DJ, are you actually looking forward to Strange New Worlds, or are you just like, well, I guess I'll give this a go? Okay, so that's not what we need. Because I was saying this earlier, I'm not looking forward to Strange New Worlds. I think everything about it is just annoying. The captain quarters that are insanely too large, the crew members that don't act like how they should be acting, and oh well, it's earlier. Yeah, that's fine, but I mean, ooh, that's weird. So I got on the yellow and I got this weird thing. What was that? Okay, so I need to look for those yellow ones. They're somehow special. What was I saying? Characters, yeah, so the level of difference isn't something that you just come across. Like, people do change, and they can even dramatically change, but it's insane the way they're presenting these characters. Like, there's nothing that happens to them where all of a sudden, you know, Spock becomes the Spock we all know. No, there's nothing to take Spock from where he is presented in Strange New Worlds and get him to where he is in TOS. The whole joke they did, even with Captain Pike not liking all this fancy equipment and, oh, just give me the jelly lights and the jelly buttons and the classic view screen. Like, no, you can't retcon things like that and expect us not to call foul. Which is why I'm of the firm belief that all this takes place in a completely alternate universe. And yeah, I know they say this is all supposed to be in the same original universe. Nonsense. There's no way anything they've shown us can possibly coexist with the original timeline. This has to be another one. And I wish they'd just, like, own up to it. Like, yeah, maybe this is the Kelvin timeline. Maybe this is a completely unique timeline. And just be okay with that. There's nothing wrong with having a Star Trek universe with slightly different things. In fact, I think a lot of people would be okay with that. Like, hey, we're doing kind of like a what if with Star Trek. What if everyone in Starfleet had actually been extremely hawkish, very war-minded, had been kind of like something between the utopian society that we're shown in TOS and the mirror universe dictatorship, because that's what we have. What we see in Strange New Worlds and Discovery is absolutely a hawkish federation, a very brutal federation. I mean, not as brutal as the mirror universe version that we see in Discovery, but still a lot worse off than what we have in TOS. You hand the grotesque fish to the fishmonger. He grins, raising the fish up to his face before inhaling a deep, stuttering breath. Ah, now this is the sort of specimen to liven up my day. I wonder. He runs his fingers firmly around the length of the fish, as though feeling for something. He pushes from one side of its stomach and a small shape can be seen against the bulging scales. He slices the fish open. From its stomach, he pulls a small piece of fabric and spreads it on the counter. It's a delicately patterned handkerchief. Well, I've never seen that before in all my days. You looked for it. Like, you thought for sure there'd be something in there. I'll give you this thing and pay you for the fish too, of course. It's not the first corrupt fish I've seen in these parts, so I'm sure you'll find more before too long. I'll pay you well if you find any more. What on earth? Gulf flounder, pathetic cowardly bottom-dwelling fish, and a cyclopean flounder. A sprawling jelly mass spills from a single eye socket. What appears to be a dark pupil is in fact the center of an egg. And then one beautiful handkerchief drawn from the insides of a grotesque fish, patterned with delicate crimson thread. Okay, well, that's interesting. Let's sell everything. Let's see. Each is saying he's looking forward to ranting about it. Josh saying, Matthew, the new PSU standard Intel is trying to push the mother is where the power would step down to 5 volts and the PSU would just keep the current constant. Okay. I know one of the issues with motherboards is we do have like a bank of power MOSFETs for the CPU by itself. Like, CPUs are drawing an insane level of current. Like, have you seen anything about Intel's 13th generation? The air coolers and even water coolers that we have right now, just, they are not keeping pace. The stock cooler that Intel is shipping with literally cannot keep it from thermal throttling because they are drawing so much current for everything that they're putting on these chips nowadays. So they need to do something about it. What the power supplies or the power draw on these boards. And also with that much power going around the boards, it creates issues for data lines. So if we could do something to decrease the power going everywhere, we would actually have probably some overhead for more throughput on our data lines. A man is looking at you through your cabin window. His face is mostly in shadow. Well, that's ominous. I know what you took to the fishmonger. And I'll be clear, I know he extracted an artifact from it. I need to inspect it, but not here. Yeah, please don't be staring through my boat. I'm trying to sleep. Meet me on Blackstone Isle. Head out of the bay, cut south. Okay. I'll be waiting. Okay, I think I need another engine. What can I do here? Right now I got one that does 14 knots. They usually do 10 knots, so I can afford another outboard motor. And I want to uninstall that one. Can I sell it? No. Okay, so just to storage? How do I do it to storage? Okay, middle button. Oh, shoot. She only had the one. I thought I could buy a second one. Rats! Okay, so now I gotta reinstall this one. Okay, well, oopsies. G's saying if this was the Matthew version of Star Trek, it would be all episodes like Space Hippies and TOS. Yeah, or Code of Honor. I'm not sure if you've heard of this before, but everyone here should be well aware of the fact that I have said on multiple occasions that TNG's Season 1 Code of Honor was my favorite of that season. And everyone knows you can never be wrong or mistaken on the internet, so it has to be true. Yeah, I know I want a variety of tackle. I need to find another research part. Let's go ahead and sleep until the morning, I guess. Okay, so I need to leave and then head south. Now that I have like double the speed. I wonder if there's a map. Donnie's saying that I'm looking forward to Strange New World seasons. Well, I am glad for you. I'm not. Oh, I'm not at all. But you know, I'm also not gonna watch it. Like, I enjoy watching the reaction videos by Bird. I love them. At the same time, I don't want to rain on anyone's parade who actually enjoys it. Like Michael, the Salty Trekker. I know that he really enjoys Strange New Worlds, which admittedly it boggles my mind. Like, he hated Discovery for doing all the things that Strange New World is doing, but he loves Strange New Worlds. And I don't need to detract from that. If he likes it, I don't want to get in his way of enjoyment. So I'm not going to watch it so that I'm not poo-pooing on anyone who does enjoy it. But it's not something that I'm very interested in. And then I need to read that. Oh, I got a map. Wait. What is this? This is where I'm going? So I can place a marker here? Okay. And then back. Pursuits. Okay. Just different things I'm working on. Oh, messages. That's what I'm looking for. Messages. Okay, so we read about the honeymooners. And the very next day, we had a slight accident yesterday around the shallows at the back of Greater Marrow. A rock seemingly appeared out of nowhere. I experienced that, and struck the front of the boat. It did not penetrate the hull, but it jostled us around and a few items fell overboard into the water. We did not see what they were, which is of some concern, but we believe all important articles are accounted for. One of them must have been the handkerchief. I bet these are tied together. He has been checking over some notes from the boat renaming ceremony. He is paranoid that he performed the steps incorrectly. I have never known him to be so superstitious. Okay. DJ saying I'm hoping Salty shows up to my live stream later like he did with the last 2 episodes of Picard. Okay, so I don't know if Tokyo's here. I don't think I've seen him in the chat. But I know that Tokyo, he really enjoyed the end of Star Trek Picard. I had a hard time enjoying Star Trek Picard because, well, it did so much to destroy the legacy of characters, like Worf being this pacifist, Kahless having breathing techniques. Absolute nonsense. Not Worf, excuse me. Deanna and Riker basically forgot about when they're children. They're like, oh, we only lived here for our son. You know, forget our daughter who absolutely adores the outdoors. No one cares about her or even frankly remembers her. Like, we've been kidnapped and, you know, screw that kid. like there was so little concern about their missing daughter. And then, like, every time Rafi was on screen, you know, they did better with her this season. Like, last season was just rough with her. So it was at least a better job that they did. But every time she came on, it was still rough. Let's see. There's a rogue guy sitting there. I'm not going to talk to him yet. Where am I? I am so not where I need to be. I need to do a 180. I don't think I'm going to make it before nightfall. Am I pointing the right way now? Okay, over there. I was kind of hoping that by placing a flag, it would, like, show up on my overhead. And then, what else? Beverly? Oh my goodness, Beverly got done dirty in this show. The way they treat her character, where, oh hey, you know, sorry Jean-Luc, you got me pregnant, but I felt like I had to tell you in person, and then I could never tell you in person, and I know that you were worried about you being abusive like your dad, which is something he never ever worried about in TNG. But apparently that's like the biggest fear he has now. Like, it was hot garbage what they did to her and Jean-Luc and all that. Okay, the man is standing in a doorway, watching you approach. He is holding an old book in one hand. It's bound in crimson with silver ribbons. Ah, you came. Good. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm a collector of many things. Art, artifacts, treasures and truths, and curios that occupy the periphery of desire. And you have something for me. You give the handkerchief to the collector. He holds it up to the flickering light and studies it. These patterns are, unmistakable. Even after all this time, this handkerchief comes from an old ship I've been searching for. It sank many years ago. It carried some items of great importance. As you can imagine, retrieving them is proving to be challenging. That's where you come in. My proposition is this. I will outfit your vessel with equipment that will let you dredge the wrecks and dark depths. Excellent, finally. Find me these lost relics and I will reward you in ways beyond all imagining. You need not give up your fishing career. I merely need a few hours with your vessel to make the necessary alterations. What you say? Yeah, I accept. An excellent decision. I'll prepare the equipment immediately. The relics we're looking for are a ring, a necklace, a watch, a music box, and a key. Okay? I'd encourage you to ask around the towns about shipwrecks or other strange occurrences, anything that might be worth investigating. Return when you have something. Okay, and what's in the workshop? Looks as though it hasn't been used in decades. You enter, taking a moment to let your eyes adjust to the dim light. What do you want to do in here? Can I pick up items? You find some horrifying creations amongst the edifices. Arterial engine, yoink. I guess send that to storage. Sign of ruin. A symbol of the deep is carved into the small talisman. It is sure to draw the attention of those attuned to it. Okay. Is there anything else? Interesting. Okay, let's leave. Huh. I'm gonna go for it. So yeah, I didn't appreciate that. I also had a major issue. Oh look, there's another fishing boat out there. It's the first time I've seen him. I had a major issue. Oh no! Shoo! Okay. There is not another fishing boat. There is just a monster who wants to eat my ship, apparently. The whole Moriarty tease thing, I wasn't a big fan of. Like, I honestly would have preferred much more if they actually just had Moriarty come back. Like, I honestly think that would have been a bigger... Oh, I needed that fish. I think that would have been more meaningful to the series than having it be Data. Ooh, okay. My light went out. I forgot I could use a light. Let's see. Loud foghorn, make your presence known. Interesting. Yeah, flying the whole Enterprise into the Death Star, not my favorite scenes, I will admit. And let's see, the black grouper, there we go. It hands me some money. I didn't think you had in you. Night fishing is a tall order. Been meaning to talk to you about a new business venture I've been considering. Crab pots. Oh, that's what the pots are. Okay. I've got one here for you, in fact. It's a bit banged up, but you could get it fixed at the shipwright. Okay, so storage that. Drop it out at sea anywhere, then come back after a day or two and check on it. Neat. A feather crab and common crab. Alright. Okay. Ooh, wow. So I bet if I get fully damaged, I sink. So we will leave that there. We'll sell all our other fish. So yeah, I had a problem with that. Ro Lorne, I couldn't stand the fact that they retconned her character. That's not how she and Picard left their relationship. And them kind of hand-waving away the fact like, oh yeah, you know, I was technically a member of a Erst organization, a puppy cell, if you will. And, you know, they forgave me. Water under the bridge, let bygones be bygones. Who cares? That was that was pretty nonsense. Okay, get some out of my engines. Oh, I need to be reading books. I keep forgetting about this. I just need repairs right now. And then I do want... Well, that's only one extra knot. I'm not wasting money on that right now. I'm not wasting money on that or that. The way that they... Okay, so Jean-Luc and his son both had a gene that made it such that they were transmitters. A biological transmitter for the Borg Collective. I'm okay with that. I think that's a fine enough tweak to the lore. Why not? But the fact that they could take the transmitter and take that exact same code and put it into everyone as a receiver, like, that part made no sense to me. They didn't go enough over that. But then also just... This is a problem that all of New Trek has. Every last season has this problem. They set up a mystery, and then they reveal the answer. And the answer, first of all, is never good. It's always a letdown. Like, they've spent so much time building up this mystery that by the time you get to it, it universally sucks. But the bigger issue is... The bigger issue is that at the end, they make a revelation that the people at the beginning of the series who were acting on that reveal didn't know. So you have a plot set up where they're only making actions that make sense if they know the reveal at the end, but they didn't know the reveal at the end. They were clueless to the reveal at the end. And so it makes no sense for them to be taking the actions at the beginning of the season. For example, the rogue changelings, who major retcon to the changelings, my goodness. Another thing I couldn't stand. And I know some people have come up with some decent theories for why, you know, now we can use sensors to detect that they're not a rock, even though Odo explicitly told everyone that if you scan me when I'm a rock, I look like a rock. Makes no sense, but fine. They retconned it so that, at least the way that it was presented, all the characters or all the changelings, like, if you had scanned them, you could detect them. That's how they presented it. And it was a big deal that now they looked like the thing that they actually claimed to be. Like, oh, now when you scan them, they appear to be human, but before when you scanned them, they appeared to be changelings, but that's not how they were. But even worse than that, you have the Borg Queen, who is half, no, it's not half, she's all but dead. She doesn't have one foot in the grave. She has her whole body in the grave and a hand keeping her alive by holding out. And so this Borg Queen somehow, even though she has no resources, even though she has no connection with the outside world, she's somehow able to find out that there are changelings being experimented on in a top secret facility run by Section 31 that everyone knows about still. And then she's able to communicate with them while they are in Section 31 and gets them to somehow be submissive to her. Or conversely, they never cover this, so that's either option A. Option B, the Section 31 changelings somehow find out about the Borg, even though no one knows where she is. They just like luck into her or something in Jupiter, like the transport conduit. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It makes no sense whatsoever. Like, they just throw out these plot points and like, oh, who are the changelings working for? Well, it turns out it was the Borg Queen, who was somehow communicating through them through their hand. Never addresses that. Like, it's such bad writing. It is horrible writing. That said, Star Trek Season 3, Picard Season 3 was the best of all new Trek. Like, there were at least episodes that had me going, wow, this was a decent idea. Like, I really was excited by the idea. They just failed so bad on the execution. And I feel like if they had cleaned things up a little bit, like saying, hey, maybe we should talk to someone about the changelings. Like, instead of it being like they can fool scanners, they don't revert back to a gelatinous state when they die, or they're quantum locked the way that Odo was. So the Section 31 people, it's not that they experimented on them and made it so that they could appear perfectly human. It's that they experimented on them and they were able to quantum lock them the way that Odo was. And they're kind of planning on using this to maybe attack more changelings. And then it starts to make sense. But instead, the way they present it, oh, the changelings were all, peace-loving people, but it was the wicked Federation that turned them into the extremists. And, if the Federation had done these experiments on them, then they would have been peaceful the whole time. But that's not what happened. Like, it completely ignores the fact that they were the aggressors of the Dominion War. It made no sense, John. Why would just to hide the fact that she was a Borg Queen, she was this floating blob via severed hand. Made no sense. I'm sorry, I'm ranting. I'm not playing the game. What is it? Do you know any shipwrecks around here? She eyes you suspiciously. There's a spot near the back of Greater Morrow where the current carries wreckage from the seas. I think I ran into that one. Some nights you can see an unnatural glow rise. Oh no, I haven't been to that one. I can't imagine what's down there in the deep. So if looking for what I think you're looking for, it's best you just move on. You've heard any strange happenings? I see plenty of strange things from atop the lighthouse. Sometimes I don't know whether or not I can trust my own eyes. She holds the lantern up so she can shine it brightly onto your face. Are you really standing here in front of me? Or is it just another of the fog's tricks? And who else lives here? I see a lot from up here, I saw that ill-fated boat return. I chose to look the other way. What? What is she talking about? Have we heard about this ill-fated boat before? I watched an unnatural glow flicker through these windows. Whatever you got planned, I hope you know what you're doing out there. I should go. John's saying that the nostalgia elements like the Fleet Museum were nice in moderation, but I think the overall season plot was contrived and the characters didn't feel like themselves. Yeah, they really didn't. Like, I've already mentioned how much Beverly annoyed me and Picard annoys me. Geordi, I feel like Geordi also got butchered. You know, he and Riker were the least butchered. Like, Riker felt the most like himself most of the time. They still had a couple things out there, but at least Riker, he got some really good quibs in there. I was saying a bunch of salty people in the chat, exactly. And yeah, Professor, I know no one's the same 20 years later, but if... this is the thing about storytelling in TV shows or movies. If a character changes, no matter how much time has passed, in a TV show or movie, you have to address it. Like, it's unfortunate, but we kind of make sure that characters are locked into what we've established them to be in TV shows and movies. And if they change, there needs to be a narrative reason for that change. Like, you can't just say, oh, it's 20 years later, he changed. Like, people don't accept that. We want to know, why did that character change? And it has to, it's like Chekhov's gun. If you introduce a gun in the first act, by the final act, you need to use it somehow. And it's the same way with character changes. We needed to have an extreme reason for them to change. And Beverly's change happened way before, like, 20 years had passed. Like, she changed immediately. She found out she was pregnant and all of a sudden, boom, change. And being pregnant in of itself wasn't enough of a motivation for her to be like, hey, I'm going to completely ghost Picard. And not just Picard, I'm ghosting everyone in our friend group. Like, the only reason it would make sense for her to ghost everyone was if she knew from the moment she got pregnant that there was something about Jack that was pivotal to the entire human race. Which she couldn't have known until 20 years later when all this happened. Now, you approach a woman sitting on the dockside, staring out into the sea. She turns to you. What's it like out there? It's difficult. It's got to be a lot better than this town. I think I just need to get away for a while. Maybe not come back. Going backwards is a mistake, don't you think? You should always keep moving forward. Move along. I can't go back. She's gazing out to sea again, lost in thought. Say, if you find me some materials, maybe you can help me move? I mean, really move. There's an island I've heard about, Steel Point, just to the north. John's saying, I think the changes are too large to be believable. For example, Picard and Crusher would never execute a prisoner. Okay, yes. This was... this one. Let me finish reading this, but that's an excellent point. 2 units of lumber and 2 units of scrap are all I need. I can make a new place for myself out there. You'd be welcome to visit too. Thank you. Just stack it up at Steel Point. When you have anything, I'll pay you when the job's done. Oh yeah, I've heard that one before. Okay, so let's pull up my cabin. Okay, I'm reading that. For map, what's this guy? Let's remove this marker. Let's see, is this Steel Point? I would not mind some I would not mind some markers here. I think this is Steel Point, just north. Okay, so I thought for sure that they gave this whole speech about, you know, this isn't right, we shouldn't do this. And I thought this would be the moment that we had Picard go, we can't do this. It's not right for us to, it's not right for us to execute someone in cold blood. Like, I thought for sure that's where they were going, you know? But instead, they're like, and we are going to kill them in cold blood. I was like, wait, what? Like, he should have said, no, this is not the Federation's way. It's this. And in fact, if they wanted to go with the whole idea that the Federation is what radicalized them, then they should have made a huge point about saying, no, this is wrong. This is what caused them to become extremists. We need to show them that not all solids are like this, that there's a better way. Just like we did in the Dominion War, we need to show them the path to peace. But instead they're like, and open fire. Oh, okay, what does this guy do? What? The bony blades of this grotesque engine are driven by a pulsing heart. It beats in time with your own. I very much want to install this. Okay, let's see, cargo. I don't have a spot for it. I gotta find a spot for this. How do I... Oh, is that why I could install this one? Where do I install it as a fishing rod? Okay, let's install this here. Just like they did in the war by infecting them. Yeah, I mean, yes, the Federation did infect them, but to be fair, that was a response to their provocations first. And it was also done by Section 30. Like, that was when the Federation actually viewed Section 31 as an evil organization, and not like, oh, everyone's part of Section 31, and everyone, like, like the entire Federation to support Section 31's values. Let's see. Select the crab pot ability with E, and then deploy it. So let's go out here a little ways. So I think I need to get into deeper waters. 6 feet, plenty. So let's see. Place it like that. Very good. And then I can change back to my lights. There we go. The Federation did nothing bad. They're even against giving the cure. That's true. They did do that. But at the same time, they were in active war with them at that point. Like, it wasn't just that they, were like, we're not gonna help. Like, they were in a state of active war. Not that. Okay, let's try this again. Jory's character also kind of, like I was saying, he kind of got tweaked. Like, I know, like I said, I know people change, especially when they have kids, but you need to make it a narrative reason for the change. And you need to go into it. Otherwise, it makes no sense for someone to change. Let's see, turn that off. Wait. I have a spyglass? How do I do this? Okay, so I want this. I want this. But the Federation clans were enemies for a century and helped them after practice. Hey, you know, you're right, Thomas. I will say this. They should have made it a bigger point. I think I have enough of those. They should have made it a bigger point that the Federation was unwilling to help out. Like that would have been... Like, I guess Julian certainly had an issue with it. He wanted to know why they weren't helping. Cisco didn't like it, if I recall correctly. Okay, oh rats, I can't place them both. Can I put it in storage? No. That's true, John. The Federation Klingons weren't actively at war. Were. Sometimes I can't talk. Well, them Federation kids, they weren't at war when Praxis happened. Okay, so how do I do this? Start dredging. Press F to change lanes and avoid gaps. Like that? Okay. Neat. I don't think... No, I can get one more. Okay. Okay, now, careful, careful. Okay, so I need to unload this stuff, and then I can do some more dredging. Let them die. So, if I were rewriting season 3 of Star Trek Picard, first of all, I don't think I would. No, I know for a fact I would not have every single episode focus on this big mystery. I drop a hint to it in the first episode, maybe at most every other episode. Let other things be happening, and then bring it all together at the end instead of like every episode. Oh, there's a mystery. Oh, there's a mystery. Just, you know, let things slowly build up, you know? But then, okay, I don't want this. Okay. Oh, hey, that's nice. I get the exact same amount of money, I guess, if I don't use it. Okay, so in storage, let's move that over, and that over, that, and that. Okay. So now the dry dock. What do I want? I want none of these. None of these. I can't do anything with this. Oh no, I can. Okay. So yeah, I have enough to unlock this. Nice. Okay, so now I can get net spaces, and then I wonder if I have to unlock all this to be able to get a new hole. Okay. So first of all, I don't think I would involve the Borg if I was doing this all myself. I think that we have had more than enough seasons of Star Trek Picard where he was dealing with the Borg. Like every season has kind of something to do with the Borg. Like season 1 was the least egregious, because yes, we had what's his face, Hugh, show up. Well, that wasn't too bad. And the stuff with the Borg cube, yeah, we were there. But like it all made narrative sense for that to happen. Like I'm gonna risk things here. I'll probably end up dying right now. We'll see what happens when I die. Okay, I see that boat out there, that fishing boat. That's not a fishing boat, but that's another one of those abyssal creatures coming to get me. I wonder if I can scare them away with the foghorn. That'd make sense. Yeah, see? Okay, let's do some fishing real quick. Nice. So, I mean, that wasn't too bad. That, yes, we did. Yeah, we had Borg in season 1, but foghorn maybe. It's not working. Go away. Ah, rats. Go away. I think I have to do this at nighttime as well. Something slithers. What? Something slithers into my cargo hold? Okay. I think I can do this now. I got a key that I can't fit. No. Wait, there we go. We're good. Okay, so yeah, even though technically speaking, Season 1 didn't involve the Borg too much, which, okay, yeah. You had the thing with 7 of 9. You had the thing where the Borg cubes have the garage door opener installed on them. Just worst design choice ever. Is that really too much Borg season? Like, I feel like Season 1 Borg were more of a footnote. They weren't really the main point of the season. Like, Season 2 was all about the Borg Queen and this mystery about changing timelines and stuff like that. So I felt like Season 2 was a lot more focused on the Borg. Whereas Season 1 just happened to have some Borg stuff in it. So even with all that, I don't think we needed another season of the Borg, you know? I think we could have been just fine without having her back in it, or the Borg back in it. And that's true. Season 2 was political garbage. There was a lot of that. Let's see. An unknown green energy arcs and crackles over this fish scales. It thrashes ceaselessly, even hours after being pulled from the water. Okay, so I want to sell that one. I was hoping he'd say something about it. Oh, this is the one. This is the thing that slithered in. It's infected. Does he have nothing to say about that? I would have had something to say about that. And let's put that in storage. No, I don't want to rest. Whoop, I also don't want to drive into the dock. Let's see, oh, there's a dredge spot over here. That's what I want to do. The fish has book radiation. Well, they do say that a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. So drink not from the Pyrean springs. Their shallow draughts intoxicate the brain, but drinking largely sobers us again. Is that something I needed? I was hoping for some broken wood parts, to be honest there. So I wouldn't have involved the Borg. We don't need another Borg Queen. I would have had the entire focus have been on the changelings and how they wanted revenge against the Federation, precisely for what Thomas was talking about earlier. That first of all, their secret organization released the thing in the first place, the biological warfare, and then when they could have gotten a cure for it, they chose to do nothing. And then once Odo had the cure, they were against him giving it to the founders. So I think that should have been the centralized thing that made them so mad. That should have been everything. They should have been like, no, you know, we were willing to stand by while the emissary was out there, but this has become a dangerous situation. Kira is out of command, let's say. And with her gone, that was the last of the old guard, and they feel as if the Federation is become increasingly warlike. And without anyone to protect them in the wormhole, they think it is now an imperative issue to address what's going on here. That if they don't address it, that they are now at risk again. And forget this whole nonsense with Section 31 doing stuff to them. We don't need more Section 31 stuff, okay? Section 31 is the worst thing to happen to New Trek. Everything's Section 31, and everyone knows about them. Instead of it being Bashir, who, you know, he found out because they wanted to recruit him, and he let a very small inner circle know about it. Now everyone knows about it. Of course I know Section 31. They have the special badges. They flash their cards everywhere they go. We don't need more Section 31. They have killed that idea. Like everything else with Trek that they've touched. And then they could have used them to be infiltrating. Now who was the hand? I don't think we need the whole hand plot. I think honestly that was silly. And as for why they wanted Jack, see, all this, it makes no sense, like why they'd want him. Unless Picard was the one they wanted ultimately. And if there's a reason you want Picard, then it needed to somehow be directly tied to him, more than just the Borg. Like, we need a reason beyond the Borg. We needed something political where they never forgave Picard. They saw him as the reason they're in a complete state of disarray. We've already done this stuff with the Romulans, which, I mean, that was a pretty silly plot with the Remus Romulans. John's saying, I think they should let the changeling alone. If they wanted an infiltration plot, use the conspiracy bugs. Oh, well, there's a good idea too. Yeah, bring them back. They were kind of a fan favorite, and I want to say a while back ago, I do remember them talking as if those bugs were supposed to be somehow related to the Borg. Does anyone else remember that? I might be misremembering something. Maybe they're supposed to be related to changelings. Oh, I thought I had something for him. Oh, I gotta get out of storage. That's what I gotta do. So take it from storage. Now it's in my inventory. Now talk to him. You enter the collector's house. He's standing at the back of the room, still holding the silver and crimson book. He seems impatient. Well, you have something, don't you? Show me. You hand him the key. The cold metal shimmers a strange shine as he holds it. The key, the shape of the key, the teeth, the head, and now something seems changed, smaller. Has it always been this way? Is this all? Where's the lock? The collector grows agitated. Hey, I'm doing this kind of like out of the good nature of my heart. Maybe you should chill? It seems the pieces we're looking for have traveled further than I anticipated. Much further, I suspect. In that case, allow me to aid your travels. He turns a few pages in his book and mutters something low under his breath. He casts a spell on me. Okay, a burst of light fills your vision, and you stagger back briefly. Now go, we have more relics to uncover. Unworldly speed at a price. My intuition tells me that the current may have carried some debris to the southeast toward Gale Cliffs. Make that your priority. I'll mark the location on your map where you can begin your search. Is there anything else? The words you read from the book, what did they do to me? Yeah, I very much want to know that. The book holds power from the deep. Cthulhu! I merely extended its powers towards you. Is there one particular you wish to know more about? Haste. The words of haste are instant and cruel. They will impart a terrible speed to your vessel. It may put a great deal of stress on your engines. Okay. How long have you lived here? Quite some time. I used to be a fisherman, as my father before, but 2 decades ago I took up residence here. I needed to focus on other endeavors. I found that this island has a certain strength to it, those dark basalt columns stretching downwards into the deep. Anything else? Who owned these relics? Oh, do you know who owned these relics? Yes. Who? He looks at you for a moment. A look of something like regret flashes in his eyes. An old friend. Anything else? Where should we look for it? Yeah, we already talked about this. Yada, yada, yada. And nothing, I'll be going. Okay. Neat. So, haste adds speed to your engine, but increases panic and engine heat. Oh. I think I'm okay without it. Hey, Valor. How you doing? It has been a long time. We've just been talking some Star Trek stuff. Somewhat appropriate with strange new worlds upon us. I need to figure out what I need to fish in those spots. Fish here? depleted. Okay. It really wants me to use it, but I really don't want to use it. Okay, let's sell the stuff to the trader. That's not much. Oh, grieving father, hello. Hello, is everything okay? I want to know about shipwrecks. Well, yes, you see, my only son was lost at sea some years ago. He's still out there somewhere in one of those wrecks, all alone in the cold, dark water. The man is clearly trying his hardest to remain composed, but tremors of grief rack his body. I was wondering, I noticed you have some dredging equipment installed on your vessel. If you're able to retrieve any of his belongings from the wreck, I think you'd feel more at peace if his mementos were with me. He wore a bronze belt buckle, specially engraved. I'd recognize it anywhere. If you could find it, I'd be in your debt. Okay. You know about anything strange? I don't get a lot anymore, so I don't see much what goes on. But I do remember the old mayor in his final days. What an awful sight it was. Screaming and throwing things in the sea. Throw it back, he would cry over and over. Begging anyone who would listen, howling into the wind. These days, I almost feel like I understand. I better go. Okay, let's risk this. We're gonna get haste out and go. That's hilarious. Do you see the smokestack? All right. Oh, I could have pressed the take all button. That would have been smart of me. I just know one of these days I'm gonna like slam right into the dock. The lighthouse keeper emerges from the dark forest that flanks the town. She walks toward the deck with a confused look on her face. Oh, it's you. Who were you expecting? Your engine, it sounds like... I'm sorry, I mistook it for the vessel of an old friend. Dejected, she turns and walks back toward the lighthouse. I wonder if it was because I used haste. Let's see if I can ask her more about that. And what do you know about the old mayor? I try not to think about him. It's a painful memory for us all. Some nights I still think I can hear the hum of his engines sailing past the bay. But I know he's gone and I don't want to talk about it anymore. What's with the fog? No one knows. It's recently changed. It lingers in the morning now, where before it didn't seem to have the strength. Even in midday sun, I feel it. A malice, concealed in shadows, waiting for the night to sweep the island. She glances up at the lighthouse. If this light should ever falter, then help us all. I'm gonna go. Crazy old biddy. Want to ask about the wider region? Certainly. I don't really care about this. I'll probably do that offline. Shipwrecks, unfortunately there have been quite a few in recent years. We do our best to salvage and stay clear of any shipwrecks that occur around this side of the island. That should make fishing a bit easier for you. Around the back though, it's a little hard to get to. There are still some wrecks toward the deeper patches. You'll want to avoid that area. I want to go to that area. Need to dredge up some stuff. What happened to the last fisherman? Last fisherman? No, he was very unreliable. He'd go out at night, come back with no fish, and proceed to sleep all day. He was also a terrible captain. I mean, really terrible. Constantly running aground on reefs. Even in broad daylight, the shipwright almost ran out of wood for repairs. No, he was no good. One evening, he left and never came back. So long, he shan't be missed by us. Now, what else can I do for you? Oh, better be going. Do I have fish to sell? Yeah, I got some crabs. Let's sell that one. And I guess I'm done. And sell the rest. There we go. And I guess I'll buy some crab pots. No reason not to. Watch me get in a wreck and not be able to repair the ship. Let's go and rest till morning. Okay, I'm gonna place these crab crab nets and then go ahead and call it a night. It is 12:20 here. So let's see, I need to do this. I'm gonna put one there and here. Oh, I see, that's the type of crab I'll catch. So I need to find a spot that shows the other crab type. Hey, Arvixander, how you doing, man? Where could it be? Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm playing a game called Dredge. It's got some Cthulhu type confusing stuff in it. One of my favorite genres, let's be honest. Yeah, I am doing well, thank you. It was a rough few months here at the end at my work, and things have kind of changed quite a bit since then. But it's in a much better place now. Wow, those are some engine parts right there. Can I arrange this any better? Like, I don't think I'll be able to. No, I can fit one more. There we go. Okay. It's gonna get nighttime before I place this crab pot, and then I'm gonna crash. Hello, what's this then? A curved fish. So, I've seen this fish before. We'll inspect that later when I have some of those fish. Okay. We just need to go back to home base here. And then, all right, I need to call it a night there, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me for this stream. It's fun to do these. I need to start doing them again more often, to be honest. Hopefully maybe also start having some free time where I can put out a couple more videos here and there. I got a lot of home automation stuff I've been doing. I've been doing so much stuff, and I have videos I'm just sitting on that I need to edit and narrate and stuff. And then I also need to do some more Voyager videos, do I not? But until then, guys, everyone take care, and I will see you later if I can remember how to how do I turn this thing off? I used to have, yeah, there it is, like this. Later, everyone. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to hit that like button and share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you will, and be sure to hit that bell icon to be notified of all the updates I do on this channel. If you want to support the work I'm doing here, then I hope you'll consider becoming one of my Patreons, where you'll get early access to all kinds of videos. And until the next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.